show, a place where visionary leaders build a life and business legacy on purpose through mindset, branding, marketing, sales, systems, and team so they can make an amazing impact and income and positively affect their communities worldwide. Ensure that you are sharing this show, you're subscribing, and you also are leaving us a review so we can create more amazing content around those areas to help you level up to the next level and also bring amazing guest experts that can share their knowledge and expertise with you so that you can create amazing legacy. Hello, Legacy Builders. Welcome back to another show. Happy Friday. Who can't believe it's Friday? I know when we're doing meaningful work and working on purpose, all the days of the week are all meshed together. So I'm so excited to be back with you with another amazing guest and conversation. And today we're going to talk about a topic that's near and dear to our heart as we're all growing legacy, purpose-driven businesses that are independent of us as the owners. Today, we're going to talk about going from business operator to owner in a few simple steps. Who doesn't like a great implementable strategy with all the confusing content out there? And my guest today is going to be Brandon Gano, a great connection from South Carolina or North Carolina.
North Carolina. I think they're all the same, though. Does it matter?
All the Carolinas.
Yeah, one thing.
Yeah, I love it. And also a native from Jersey. That's very cool. So from Jersey to New York, it's a small world and a great connection from our Facebook group community. So, all the things. It's how we got connected. So I'm glad that you were on our show today, Brandon, to kind of share your time and wisdom and expertise around this very important topic. So before we dive into today's topic, I love to hear the background, the purpose behind the work that you do. So can you share a few of the most meaningful moments that led you to this work that you're doing out there today?
Yeah, Elona, thanks first of all for having me. I'm excited to be here and share this with your audience because it's something that's so desired in the small business world and entrepreneurship is becoming an actual business owner. But most of us are stuck in that operator role. So yeah, my backstory is keep this as short as possible, but basically, have you ever lost $250,000 to find your dreams? I mean, that's that's kind of where it all began. So I, 6 years ago at this point, started my first business that was just me. I was the owner, operator, all of the things all at once. And I grew that business to a point relatively quickly where my whole mission was to give the gift of business ownership back to other entrepreneurs. Because like I said, that's what we all want. We want freedom, we want time, we want unlimited resources and money. It's the entrepreneurial dream. And most people don't have it. So what I did was I said, well, let me turn this business into a franchise. And then I can have people in this community. We can build a community together. It was very important to me. I didn't want competition. I wanted to build each other up. And we can together move forward. We can change the industry, make an impact. I heard you mention that in your intro, which is fantastic. I love that. And we can all be business owners together. So I invested the money. I worked with this other company, and $250,000 later, I learned that it was basically all a scam. And I had to swallow the hard pill of saying, I'm at a fork in the road. Where do I go? What do I do? So it was either continue with this company who was selling lies to people and making promises that they couldn't keep, my business couldn't keep, no company in the world, not even McDonald's franchise could keep, to these people who were about to invest their life savings to become a business owner, or I have to leave it all behind and ultimately say goodbye to the money and start from scratch. And that's what led me on this journey to sell that business. I was able to exit, sell the business, my standalone business, make most of my money back, thankfully, from that sale, and then get on this journey to helping business operators become business owners. And that's where I met my business partner. And we together have come up with a solution where we can do three really important things for entrepreneurs. And that is give them clarity, confidence, and a community to grow their businesses. And that's what we're doing today. And it's loads of fun. So all of those mistakes, losing $250,000, all the pain, the sacrifice and heartache, it was all worth it looking back. I'm glad I can say that now. In the time, it was tough, but now we're here.
Wow, Brandon, I think what attracted me from your story of your purpose alignment, why you're doing the work that you're doing, is really the when you can connect the dots backwards, even though that was such a high risk and high failure, right? By all the definitions. I think there could be a lot of people in this journey as entrepreneurs that sometimes we try to weigh or take calculated risk or try to be safe around when we're investing and taking risks because we don't always know what's on the other side. So, in your experience, how did you come up from the ceiling, from the floor, I should say, where you kind of felt defeated? You realized that the company or whatever opportunity you invested in was not a real one, was a scam. Like, how does someone get back up and start to build that belief back in you to try again? Because I think that's really tough for a lot of people. They can make that mean something, and they start to put their defenses up when they need to reinitiate something new or just continue something that they're passionate about. What's your experience? What did you tell yourself? How did you overcome that?
Yeah, I'm so glad you asked that because I run into so many people who, in whether it's working with us as clients or joining other groups and stuff like that, that's the main fear, right? Is this going to let me down? Is this going to actually set me back in my career, in my journey? Or could this possibly help me and be the one spark that I need to propel me forward? So for me, it came down to two very, very important things. And ironically, it's actually where we start with all of our clients at What If. And that was my mission, my personal mission, and my core values. So in working with that other company, the company itself was not a scam. They were a real company, but they were scamming other people. They were telling you basically when you invest into a franchise, you make $1 million in your first year. And listen, for those of you out there, you're smarter than me, and I didn't know that going into it. There's no business where you can guaranteed make $1 million in your first year. Does it happen? Yes, but 100% of the time in a franchise, no. And that doesn't happen, I think, in any franchise
I
brand.
should give you this for that one.
Yeah, right. I love the sign. I didn't know there were signs. I would have brought my own. That's fantastic. I'm gonna come prepared next time. But so that's what I realized. There was a core value misalignment. So at our core, we need to stand so firmly behind what we believe in our core values to the point where you can say yes and no to opportunities. You can hire and fire employees by these core values. Like I said, this is where we start with all of our clients so that they have that roadmap for success for themselves. And then we move to mission, both on the personal side of the founder and then also on the company side. Now, those need to align, but they're also usually different. So for me, I knew my mission, and I said earlier in that last story, was my mission was to help business operators become true business owners. There is no freedom in owning a job. There is only freedom in being a business owner and owning your destiny, your time, your freedom, and your financial resources. So I knew I had that, and I knew I had my core values, and I just relentlessly pursued finding a way to help to fulfill that mission and actually help business operators become business owners. So it was clear to me because I mentioned clarity before. I had that vision to say, like, this is what I'm doing, this is my purpose, this is why I'm here. I think without that, and without that sense of clarity and confidence, it can be hard. And I feel for people who have been burned. I mean, I've been burned in not just that situation, but a number of masterminds and groups that make big promises and they can't deliver.
Mm.
So I get it. Like I'm sure you've been there too, but it's tough to make these decisions when everybody's promising the moon and delivers nothing, really.
Delivers a tiny dot in the universe. Yeah, I love that you share that, and I love that this conversation came up on that because I just had this conversation yesterday with a potential client, and it's almost like we all have had this in our experience. But I think what kind of stood out from me that for me that you shared, and also from my personal experience, it's like that mission is always pulling you, and you just learn to pick yourself up, and you get smarter next time, and you do your homework better, and you get more clarity within what you're looking for, and then you start aligning with the right opportunity, and you do a lot of your homework, because I think that's important as well, uh, especially when you had a bad experience, because We all have had it, right? The low barrier to entry, unfortunately. Anything to me is a red flag. Any of those, any of the language that you just mentioned as well, which gives me like it's a pet peeve in the market, right? Like make $1 million, in 3 months, or this kind of lingo. Right, that there's a process to any result, right? There's a process. There's no way. And the people that are only sharing the highlights are absolutely doing a disservice to the market, because there's always a behind the scene journey to get a certain result. So just being more educated, more aware, and leaning into our intuition. I think it's also very important as we make our next, ROI decisions in our business and life moving forward, because I think that's really an important point. So thank you so much for kind of sharing that in your journey and kind of bringing about, this insight perspective around the investment piece. And let's dive into the topic. So what are those steps to move from operator to owner, according to your perspective and your methodology and how you help people?
Yeah, so before we get to the specifics, let me just back up and as quickly as humanly possible say that all business is broken. Now, that means everything from the biggest company in the world, Tesla, Facebook, whatever, all the way down to solopreneurs. The business model we have that we've accepted and we call standard is a broken business model. And it's because we look at these big companies and we say, oh, they have all of these different things. They have departments, they have all these people, they have all these different activities and KPIs that they monitor. And we look at that as our example. And then as small business owners, as small as a couple of team members or solopreneurs, all the way up through hundreds of employees, we try to mimic this broken solution, and it falls apart because we don't have the money, we don't have the people resources, and we can't afford to waste those things. So we're running around like chickens with our head cut off as business owners. So first, we need to realize that what do we have about this model that is foundational and is in place at all levels? And what we've identified at What If is there are 10 fundamental business disciplines that make up an acronym for us called Harmonious. So we don't have time to dissect that on this show today, but the magic of Harmonious, of our operating system, our business architecture is what we call it, is that it's not 10 different areas of your business. It is one business that leverages 10 functions and how they touch each other. And that is how you can grow and skyrocket your business almost effortlessly. So it's not about doing more and being more. It's actually about doing less, but only doing the right things that get you the most output so that you can reclaim your time, you can actually own your business, and you can significantly move your business forward. And that's the difference between our model and most other accepted models out there. You look at some, I'll just compare side by side, our model, Harmonious, versus the probably two most common, the E-Myth from Michael Gerber and Traction, the EOS model, Entrepreneur Operating System. Those models all have you overworking. They want you to do more, measure more, be more. And what we say is, no, 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 do less. Identify the most important things for your specific business. There are no two businesses that are the same, but they all have these 10 fundamental principles. So understand what you need to do, only do those things, only measure what you need to, and then we could talk about growing your business efficiently and effectively.
I love the keyword harmonious, because now we're realizing there's no such thing as balance. So we're elevating, we're elevating as humans and understanding there's better ways to align our personal life and business as well. But I absolutely agree, right? I talk about intentionality and being purposeful even in our um, the day-to-day operations of business decisions and focuses that we need to have as business owners, because just like anything, the 80/20 rule, right? I mean, it's all the stuff we're doing sometimes it seems like busy work, but when you just sit back and kind of look at those patterns and activities that are moving the needle further forward towards purpose, which is impact, and then profits, it's only a few activities that we're doing that we can just duplicate and focus more to get a higher ROI on our time, and also on our money and resources and systems and team, depending on where everyone is in the journey as well. My question for you, Brandon, is around your experience and patterns that you have seen to simplify this for people. So yes, every business is different, every individual is different, and there's a million ways to grow business. I agree, which is also the confusing part. But what have you seen are the most important I guess let's call them metrics or pillars that we should always focus on to simplify our business that are going to help us align our profit and our purpose in a more streamlined way?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's a trick question, though. So I'm going to answer it a little backwards. And what I'll say is it depends, unfortunately. Well, I can help you get there by asking questions. So if you look over my shoulder, if you're watching, there's a giant upside down question mark. And you're probably like, why does this guy have an upside down question mark on his wall and why is it glowing? It's because that's the secret. Questions are the secret to all the answers. You have the answers inside of you. I just need to help you get them out. And that's what we do. We ask our clients questions over and over to the point where maybe they sometimes want to hit us, but that's okay. We help them get the answer. So where we go with this, where we start, I mentioned this earlier, is we start with your navigation, your mission, your vision, your core values. Every single client, no matter how big, no matter how small, when my business partner was working with Nike and Uber, he started there. When we work with solopreneurs, we start there every time, no matter how much pushback we get. From there, we have a process to go through where we take your vision, whatever you identify as your vision, and we don't give that to you, you come up with it. We break that down into quarterly sprints. You've probably heard of the book, The 12-Week Year. We use that model. It's a fantastic model. And that's what we use when breaking down your 5-year vision into your quarterly sprints or your 12-week sprints. So at that point, that's navigation, right? The N in harmonious. Then we go to the first O, which is operate. In the operate section, we're going to ask you a bunch more questions based on what you're already doing and what is getting you the biggest lift using the 80-20 rule. And we can say, okay, we need to pick 3 projects. Now, these are not business as usual, like we need to respond to emails within 24 hours and pick up the phone on time, not stuff like that. Projects are to effectuate change in your business. So we pick the 3 projects that are going to get you the biggest lift in your business. What are the things that you need to focus on to change, to modify, and increase the output of your business by decreasing the input, 2-part formula. And then from there, we can talk about the time it's going to take. We schedule your calendar accordingly so that every single day you get your KPIs done. You get those, you manage those leading indicators, and you make sure those leverageable activities get done first. And then and only then can you fill the rest of your calendar. So I'll give you an example. For us, when we were going through this process at the beginning of the year, which we're a few weeks into at this point, one of our key projects was in the realm of ubiquity, which is for us sales and marketing. It's being in your ideal clients where they expect to see you at all times, but not all things to all people. There's a difference. So we said, all right, what are some really key activities that we can get done and that will manage the result we're looking for in ubiquity? And we do things like this. We get on shows. We go and add value to other audiences. We speak on stages, at live events, in-person podcasts, summits, all the things. And we prioritize those activities. And only after we have done that can we fill the rest of our day with other activities. Most entrepreneurs do the opposite, and they fill their day with meaningless activities, the 80% that get the 20% result, backwards. And that's why they're busy, which is a dirty word for me, and they're not really effective and productive. So that's the first part of the process we go through, but that's really where we start to go immediately from owner to operator. We can get that done in just a few weeks. It's vision to operate. What are your projects? And then calendar. We need to own your calendar. And it's so simple. When you look at what you're doing versus what you should be doing, we can eliminate a lot of it. And you start to feel that owner feeling, right? The calm, the relaxation. And that's a magical feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that you mentioned the vision mission. It's like almost like the client avatar exercise that everybody's just like, I already know that. Can we get to the tactics, like how to actually do it? But I love that, you said despite your persistence, because everything connects with that, right? All the activities that they will take, they should align with the vision mission. Otherwise, you're doing busy work again, right? So I love that you mentioned that. And I love the power of questions and your upside down question mark behind you, because I absolutely agree. That's the even when we focus our brain and we ask a really smart, intelligent question, we get a good answer. And that's how we know that that could be the next logical step to take towards momentum. And what I heard you say is you walk people through a process, pretty much what we're talking about. There is a process to growing anything, and focusing people with their goals. I think it's really smart as well. Brandon, thank you so much for everything that you just shared today. I think it's been very, very insightful for people that, again, have this goal. And I think the more education there is out there in the market, I mean, most of us now want this goal, because at the beginning, I remember when I first came into the online world, there was a lot of, lingo around just get your next client, get your next client. That's just like, that's just the beginning. And everybody, I feel like it was almost, they were set up for like a job, right? And they didn't know that there's so much more to actually growing the business. And now that people have the awareness and education through people like you, then they can get empowered to visualize something grander than themselves, and learn the skills that maybe they're afraid to learn, like leadership and systems, and do the things that they're afraid, because they have a bigger mission and purpose. So I think that's really a change that I've seen for the positive, for sure, in the online space, specifically as well. Brandon, to close out our show, I have a fill in the blanks exercise that I do with my guests. So I will ask you the question, or I will just tell you the sentence, and just tell me whatever comes up for you to fill in the blank. So my first question for you, or sentence, is what inspires me is.
Oof. What inspires me is watching others succeed when they thought it wasn't possible.
Love it. The biggest impact I want to create is.
The impact through the businesses we help, their impact.
Their impact.
Yeah,
So,
watching them impact through their mission and company. There's no better feeling.
the multiplication is contagious. I know. My most thought affirmation is.
Thought affirmation?
Yes.
That's a tough one. I would have to say, you know what? God's got it. I heavily rely on faith every day to guide me. And that's one that, in times of doubt and you don't really see that path, just close your eyes. God's got it. Trust.
Yeah. Faith, powerful. Well, thank you so much, Brandon, again. And where is it that people can further continue this conversation with you, or find more helpful resources that I'm sure you have put together for people that just come to know regarding the work that you're doing out there in the world?
Yeah, so ultimately we have one promise for you, and I dropped hints throughout this episode, and that was clarity and confidence. So if you want those two things, if anything I said throughout the last 23 minutes has resonated, or at the very least you just went, huh, that's interesting, I want you to go to our website. It's on the screen here. I'm sure it'll be in the show notes. Whatif.com. It's with a D because we're from Jersey, and that's what we say. What if? That's how you start every question. Go to whatif.com. You'll take an 8-minute assessment, and we will ask you questions. Imagine that. On the other side of that assessment, you'll get a full detailed report. It'll give you instant clarity into your business. And then the detailed sections below each one will give you the confidence and action steps to move forward, grow your business, become that owner that you want to be, and help you get out of the weeds. If you want to take the next step and join the third C, our community, you will have the option to do that. But ultimately, for free, I want to give you clarity and confidence. So go to whatif.com, take the assessment, and watch the magic that happens when you have those two things.
All right, definitely encouraged to connect with Brandon inside the community and beyond. I think the power of collaborations and connections is one of those things that I think all of us that are purpose driven understand how important it is. So thank you so much, Brandon, for your time and your knowledge and expertise. And thank you for coming and being a beautiful guest on our show today.
Thanks for having me. This was fantastic.
My pleasure, and thank you for always watching and being loyal listeners to the Life School Masterclass show, and for sharing this show with other amazing entrepreneurs just like Brandon. Thank you again for your support, and the platforms are prioritizing subscriptions. So if you could subscribe to the show so you don't miss an episode, I would highly appreciate it. I'll see you next time with another show and another guest. Bye, everybody. Looking for alignment between your purpose and your profit, in your business. If you're experiencing these two main pain points in your business, lack of consistent cash flow and sales, and also lack of knowledge and strategy for scalability, then we must connect. I would love to schedule a call for a 30-minute free discovery session where I could see what you have built, meet where you are in your phase and stage of growth, and also help you identify some of the gaps that you might be experiencing in your business, in the alignment of your purpose and profit, and also in really carrying forward that vision that you have for your company moving forward for your impact and also for your profit. Schedule a free 30-minute discovery call in the link below, as my calendar gets very full very fast, and I'm looking forward to seeing you there.